I don't even know. I know they like Jody Fortson. I just don't know like how much, I guess you could say. Everybody else loves him, but I don't know if the Chiefs love him enough to carry four tight ends, to play him with the starters. I don't know, to play him ahead of Blake Bell. I just don't know how much they love him and how well he can play the rest of the tight end position, like the blocking aspect and all the intangibles like that, other than catching the ball. Apparently, he's doing pretty well, and he did well during the preseason, so that's a good sign for him. But as far as playing with the ones, it just depends on what the coaching staff really thinks of him and how they feel like he can fit into some of the play calls.
Yeah, absolutely. And just because he plays with the ones, that doesn't mean all of the ones are going to be out there. Some guys are going to shuffle in and out.
Sure.
Like I think the line could very well play longer than a Tyreek Hill or a Travis Kelsey
Patrick
or a
Mahomes.
a Patrick Mahomes, something like that. So he could get some reps with just the ones in general, meaning the one offensive line. I don't think that's going to happen. I'd still expect, like you said, Noah Gray to get those reps, but it's going to be interesting because I think Noah Gray is going to definitely make the roster. I don't know about Jody Fortson. Like, I didn't think about this before asking, but Connor, if you had to put like a percentage chance on Jody Fortson making the roster, what would it be?
I would probably say 55%. I'm going to
Mm,
go above 50 just because I can definitely see Andy Reid loving the idea of four tight ends, and especially because Jody Fortson and Noah Gray are almost wide receivers, and the fact that they can line up outside really well and play there, while also playing in line a bit if they're not matched up against like a freak defensive end. Um, I just think they'll take four. I think they'll take four. I'm leaning towards them taking Jody Fortson. I read the piece by Nate Taylor about Jody Fortson and how the Chiefs were in love with how he came back after the position change, and he's playing well. He's been asking a ton of questions, absorbing a lot of things, and I just feel like if it's not this year, then it's never. So if they want Jody Fortson to actually be a part of the team, it's going to be this year.
and I'm gonna go the opposite. I technically the opposite. I'm gonna go 45%. So like you're just above the toss up. I'm gonna go just below the toss up. I think if it were me, I would be cutting Blake Bell and I'd run with three tight ends
I
and
get
live
that.
with the results as blocking goes. But I think the Chiefs, there's just something in the back of my head. I think a good Fortson preseason game two would get me at 50 or above 50. But I just need to see more in-game stuff. He was quietly producing in the last game, and he's not so quietly produced in training camp. There's been a bunch of hype for him. So I'd go, we're both around 50%. Like neither one of us are certain either way that they're going to do it. So it's going to be
It's
interesting
almost
to
a
watch
coin
unfold.
toss, honestly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost a coin toss. It's just hard to say just because the numbers are weird at that position. Because people assume before Jody Fortson has a great camp in preseason game, that was going to be Travis Kelsey, Noah Gray, Blake Bell, just because you assume the Chiefs like the veteran in the position group to block and do all the things veterans know how to do. But we're seeing that the Chiefs might even start three rookies on the offensive line. So maybe they're just going like, hey, if the rookies can play or the young guys can play, we're just going to keep them over the veterans or at least start them over the veterans. And maybe that translates into cutting Blake Bell. The Chiefs would save a bit of money as far as the last time I looked at his contract was concerned. So it would be a way to recoup some money because I know Jody Fortson's contract is basically nothing. So I think cutting Blake Bell's in the cards. I would say Jody Fortson to the practice squad and or four tight ends is more likely to me. Um, but I also understand just cutting Blake Bell outright.